Hi guys, I'm Abhinav. In front of you is my friend Amit Samor's Yamaha R3. Now, this is not an ordinary R3. This motorcycle is probably one of the nicest R3s in our country. Now, Amit, he wanted to ride on the racetrack. So he used to do track days earlier on his Triumph Street Triple, on his Suzuki GSX S1000. And then he thought that, if I want to do track properly, if I want to learn, let me get something that's a little bit more easygoing, smaller, more ergos, which are, more racetrack friendly. So he picked up a Yamaha R3 a couple of years ago, and then he very nicely built this motorcycle up. What's funny is he hasn't been able to do a track day even once since then. This motorcycle, usually it has a hot bodies race fairing on it, but right now it's in the street trim. It's not being ridden, it's just parked at Sweet Monks for a while now. So let me give you a few details about what he's done to his motorcycle that makes it one of the nicest Yamaha R3s in India. Let's start up front with the suspension work. So the R3, it comes with regular conventional telescopic forks. I think these are 41 millimeters. So what he's done is he has Öhlins cartridge kit installed on the bike. So in the front forks, I don't know if the camera can't zoom in properly or focus. Yeah, so he has Öhlins cartridge kits installed here. Now these are adjustable for, as far as I understand, preload and rebound and compression. I'm not sure if that is the case, but it's fully adjustable. Okay, at the rear we have again fully adjustable Öhlins suspension with a separate piggyback reservoir. So suspension's completely sorted. It's set up very, very well. It's slightly stiffer than a stock R3 if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I rode an R3. So suspension, that's one of the biggest changes that you can make to your motorcycle. Give it good suspension. Then the motorcycle, it runs on Metzeler M5 tires. This is a 110/70 at the front, and I think it's a 150/60 at the rear, the same that I run on my Yamaha R15 V3. The motorcycle also has a Scorpion full system exhaust on it. It's a twin, so two pipes over here. Then what we've also done is we wanted to upgrade the braking of the motorcycle to make it a little bit more, track friendly. So what we did was, at the front we completely redid the brake system. So it has a 300 millimeter floating rotor. Now this we ordered from AliExpress. This in fact came from my motorcycle, but then this was a better fit for this motorcycle, so we put it over here. Then we have an Adelin 4-pot caliper over here with its own caliper adapter that makes it fit on the stock wheel. We've got a Hell braided brake line, and up top here we have a Brembo RCS 15 master cylinder that we sourced from Singapore. I think I ordered 3 or 4 master cylinders in a single go. One for Amit, one for my Interceptor 650, one for my R15, one for my friend Ashwin's Continental GT, and then an RCS 19 Corsa Corta for my Street Triple that's parked over there. Okay, so that aside, that's the front brake, and it's very, very, very powerful. Very powerful. Then this motorcycle, it's also running Flash Tune ECU reflash. So what that does is it's not a standalone ECU unit. It reflashes your ECU. It gives you different maps that you can try on your motorcycle. So with the ECU reflash, this bike makes about 2.5-3 bhp more than stock. Stock is 41 bhp at the crank. Those are the claim figures. This motorcycle stock, I think, does about 180, 185 kilometers an hour. Now with the flash tune, ECU, reflash, the rev limiter is gone. It doesn't have a rev limiter, so theoretically you can take it to 14,000 rpm if you want to. I wouldn't do that on the street at least, but you can do that. So this motorcycle is putting out some 3 bhp extra with the flash tune ECU. I don't know, maybe the full system exhaust adds another horsepower or 2 maybe. Then it also has these GB Racing engine casing protectors. It has a frame slider and not much else. So small changes, but very significant changes, and definitely costly changes. The flash tune ECU, I think that reflash is about 25,000 rupees. Full system exhaust would be, I don't know, maybe 50,000 rupees. Master cylinder was RCS 15 was some 20,000 rupees when I got it from Singapore. Yeah. All of this we sourced from AliExpress. The caliper was for 5,000 rupees. Rotor was about 6,000 rupees. So, you know, stuff like that. Then Öhlins is definitely expensive. I think the front cartridge kit is about 25,000, 30,000 rupees. This would probably be, the rear suspension would be about, I don't know, 35, 40,000 rupees again. So decent bit of money that's gone into this motorcycle, but the motorcycle has completely changed. It rides well, it rides very strong, and maybe, you know, if you watch it in a video you won't be able to tell the difference, but when you ride it you feel it. And I'm going to ride this motorcycle to speed monks right now, so I'll give you my small impressions of this motorcycle. Time to start her up. It's a cold start, so I'll just let it, you know, idle for a little while. Right now the full system exhaust, it has a dB killer inside, otherwise it can get a little loud. With the dB killer, it's very street friendly. No trouble with the cops so far. I hope it stays that way. Let's just give it a little bit of thing. Not very loud, not very loud. I've always liked the Yamaha R3. I'll tell you why. Let's get on the bike now. Okay. I'm just not used to riding bikes like these anymore. The riding ergonomics are very relaxed on this motorcycle. The Yamaha R15 is, the version 3 is a lot more committed. The seat height on this bike is very low. I don't know how low, maybe close to 800 millimeters. It feels that low. But it's very relaxed. Very relaxed. If you're not going hard on the throttle, it'll feel absolutely like a stock motorcycle. I've never personally tried it, but I've been told with this flash tune ECU, this motorcycle, with the way, because you know now there's no limiter, it's making a little bit more power, it is a little lighter. It can even get up to close to 220. Now that's quite a lot of speed from a very small engine, just 321cc. It's a very light bike. It feels like a 150, 160 kilo motorcycle. It probably is a little more than that, maybe 170. It just feels very light. My God. Yeah, the exhaust is not obnoxiously loud. Your neighbors aren't going to hate you. Oh, what a smooth bike, man. There are no vibrations at all anywhere. None whatsoever. Now this is the non-ABS variant, so the brakes actually are very strong. Had we not changed, the caliper, etc., just this master cylinder makes a huge difference. Brakes are too strong. That's a smooth bike, very smooth bike. It's only done 5,000 kilometers. Man, new engine. The levers, they fall to the fingers easily. This is coming out. Grips are typical Yamaha grips. Plastics are very good quality on this. I like them. Again, the fit and finish is top notch, being a Yamaha. And that too, not a Yamaha that's made in India, Yamaha that is imported into India. Probably semi-knocked down or completely knocked down, I'm not sure. Been a while since this motorcycle was discontinued. The real power comes in once you are above 7,000 or so. Till then, it's happy to potter around in a high gear in the city. You don't have to have your gears very low. So I'm in 5th, I'll show you. Even in 6th, it'll comfortably do 50, 60. It makes for a very good commuting bike as well. No heat or anything. Yeah, no, I mean, so far no heat, but we just started riding. We won't get to experience much of city traffic on it, because in about 2 kilometers or so we'd be out on the highway. One will have to be a little careful with the brake setup that this motorcycle has within the city, because it will pull a stoppie, and that too when you're not suspecting it. It'll easily pull a stoppie. Very strong bite. I'm sure he's running Brembo brake pads on it as well. Knowing Amit only puts top-notch stuff on all his motorcycles, like the best of the best. So I think his GSX S1000 makes 160, 165 horsepower also. Lots of work on that bike as well. Maybe we'll cover it someday. Okay, it's clear now. Yeah, this bike is fast. Right now, if I were to tell you that, can I live with this motorcycle in the city? Absolutely yes. The riding ergos aren't very committed. Suspension is set up not too stiff. It has ample ground clearance. The bike is not heating up. Yeah, I'd be okay riding in the city with this bike. Now we're on the expressway. My god, it just starts to pull. Again, quite a lot of traffic today. It is light enough and tight enough to filter very easily through traffic. And it is so smooth. So I'm doing about what, 100 right now. No hints of vibrations anywhere. Not on the handlebars, the fuel tank, seat, foot pegs, nowhere. Just smooth as it can be. My friend Atul Singh, who's the technical head at Speedmonks Performance Center, he is the one who's ridden this motorcycle a few times, more than the owner, Amit Samor. So he says that, you know, in the hills, he prefers having this motorcycle over everything else because it's just faster than everything else over there, due to the nature of how it delivers its power and being extremely lightweight. Now I'm not riding fast because, you know, so much traffic, but otherwise it can do 120, 30, 40, whatever you want all day easily. It's a shame this motorcycle did not do well in our market. I'm sure it's probably because of the price factor. I believe this bike was about 4 lakh rupees on road or so. But what people need to understand is the bike is expensive, but it's not overpriced. There's a big difference between something being expensive and something being overpriced. It is expensive because A, it's an import. B, it's just a higher quality motorcycle. The KTM Duke that you ride over here, the RC390, Duke 390, yes, those motorcycles are made in India. That's why they are cheaper, but they just don't have the same quality as this motorcycle. The engines, they're YB. Quality really isn't Yamaha level, that's for sure. I wish this motorcycle got a little bit more love in our market. It's an amazing bike. It is very calm and composed at, what was I doing, 100? Very calm and composed. You feel like you're doing 40 on a slightly smaller bike. I'm just riding straight, so I can't tell you how the tires are performing on this bike, but these are some of the best beginner street performance tires out there. I've run them some 3,000, 3,500 kilometers on my Yamaha R15, and I love these tires. Very grippy. For street use, of course. I mean, they're not super Corsas, but definitely better than all the MRFs that come for these small bikes. In fact, if I remember correctly, this particular motorcycle, the Yamaha R3, it came with MRF tires in the market. 100 section at the front, I don't know, 100 by 80 or so, or 100 by 70, but it was 100 section at the front and 140 at the rear. I believe they were MRF tires. There's a very nice exhaust note, very pleasing to the ear when you're riding like this. The real difference can probably be felt, you know, once this motorcycle is in its upper reaches of the rev limit, maybe, you know, past 9,000. While getting it home from Speed Monks yesterday, I did cross 9,000 once. I think I was at about 11,000 or so, and yeah, the bike was singing. There it picks up speed very well, which is the nature of a multi-cylinder engine, inline engine. Tends to make power up top. Yeah, so see, as soon as it crosses 7,000, and I'm barely giving it throttle. I'm not going full throttle or anything. Barely giving it any throttle. All throughout. It's a shame my friend Amit doesn't ride this bike, but then the man has no time. Guy's got 2 kids, and he only rides on Sunday whenever he's in the country. His work keeps him traveling a lot, so this is what happens when you have multiple motorcycles. You don't know what to ride when you only have a Sunday to ride. What does he do? Does he ride his Tiger 800, or does he ride his Suzuki GSX S1000, or the Interceptor, or this R3, maybe a couple of more? What do you do, man? What do you do when you have 4-5 motorcycles and 3-4 cars? But I'll tell you what happens then. You are never the person who chooses what you ride. You end up riding whatever the little friends that you have, that you ride with, they want to ride that particular day. So Amit's been riding his Tiger mostly off late, because, you know, all of us people, me, Yudhvir, Ankush, Aditya, we've all started riding dirt. So Amit is also forced to ride dirt, because who else will he ride with if not us? So yeah, that happens. So now it feels if the power is coming in. My God. This is the right amount of power to scare a rider like me on the road. It's very scary. Trust me, it's very scary. When suddenly you're doing 60 and you just whack the throttle open and it crosses 140. And what a smooth bike. I don't feel cramped on this bike. That's a plus, because I've started hating sporty motorcycles. I don't understand the whole concept of being hunched over when you're riding on the street. Aerodynamics barely come into play at the speeds that you will achieve on, you know, within the city limits. So I don't quite understand riding a 6R or a 10R or a Daytona on Delhi streets. I don't. But this is comfortable enough. Your feet aren't that high, your hands like they aren't over here. Very forgiving on the back, neck, shoulders. Very comfortable over rumble strips. And being a light bike, easy to do this also. So it's very docile and mild-mannered when, you know, you're doing about 5,000-6,000 RPM. And then just do this and it just wants to go. Just immediately wants to go. And this motorcycle, I really like it because it has no ABS, no traction control, no ride-by-wire bullshit. Simple, basic, sorted motorcycle. Barely anything would ever go wrong with this bike. I'm almost here at Speed Monks in Gurgaon, so it's time to end this video. What do I think of this bike? R3 as a whole, I think India really did not appreciate this motorcycle. It's a brilliant bike. It is a little expensive, but it's okay. It's worth that money. With all that's on the bike, I've not been able to ride it the way I would want to ride it. Obviously, because we are within the city limits, but it rides well. It's got ample power. Alright guys, I'll just take a left and I'll get to Speed Monks. I'll end this video over here. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day. Bye bye.